This is episode 339 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm your host, Will, regular Clutch versus Captain Clutch Hegwood. And today I'm joined by Marcel AMG. Hello, points please, Manzano.
William laughs like a gerbil is having a seizure or something.
Ryan, my son is closer to 4 than 0, Stanzewski.
Yep, Ollie's birthday was this past Saturday, and he turned 2. Now that it's Monday, he has less amount of time to get to 4 than he was when he started, when he was born to get to 2.
That's crazy, Ryan. It seems
terrifying?
Like just yesterday.
He is 2.
And James, Christmas music is allowed now? Ritter, I added the question mark.
Yeah, it is a statement, not a question. Christmas music is allowed starting now. It is now December, the Christmas season. So all you people that were playing Christmas music beforehand in November and October were wrong. And it ends on December 25th at midnight. After that, no more Christmas music.
That is, I think I would that's a bigger violation of playing Christmas music at New Year's versus Christmas music on Thanksgiving.
So are you saying it's a bigger violation of someone playing it on New Year's
Christmas
versus?
Check it all down. Stop the music.
Burn it down. Let the past die.
Exactly. All right. Well, before we get into a bunch of events happening right now, I have to thank our Patreons. They're really the people who can get these episodes out to you, get GSP to these events that we record. Becoming a Patreon makes you part of the largest group of what GSP does and get access to Patreon-only channels in our Discord and shareable art that Dion has posted from our past projects. To see that, what kind of art you could get, you got to go to patreon.com/goldsquadron. Now, one other thing before we get into the current events, looking forward to the future events. Worlds is coming up. The tickets aren't on sale yet, but if you're already planning travel and stuff, and especially if you're traveling from outside the United States, ISO Fane has once again be doing the ISO plane initiative. Xwing.life. I could help donate. You can sign up to potentially receive some of the donations so you could get yourself to Worlds and we can make it a great international event from before. There's a raffle going on right now where you could win a bunch of sweet stuff. The fundraiser raffle templates, a bunch of official stuff. It's not all fan made or anything. People were even generous enough to put down dice, templates, tokens for the raffle, so you actually can get something out of it, not just the donation that you give. But all of the applications are open until December 15th. I don't know if I know when the raffle is. I bet it's on this page. Let's take a look. Till January 1st. It says right there. So be checking that out. Help get those players who want to travel to Worlds but are financially unavailable to get there. Plus, you could potentially win a bunch of sweet stuff. Check out, real simple, xwing.life for that ISO plane initiative. The pun messes with me every time, but I do love it. Anyways, let's quickly move on then to last week's old news, actually, because last week was the Draft League Division Finals. Okay. I have them pulled up on our screen here for you guys. But essentially KDB versus Hotshots, Ascendancy versus the Core Confederacy. Firebirds take on 5 straight Boost, and Foxes were against the Wolf Pack. Interesting enough that 3 of these matchups in this team event, we talked about it before with Greg a couple weeks ago for the Nickel City Draft League, but 3 of these went to the 7th game. The only one that didn't go to a 7th game, because you need obviously 4 wins out of the 3, the only one that didn't was Catherine's Foxes, who went 4-0 off the bat and stopped the series after the 4th game, which is crazy. But in addition to that, every one of the other, what do I say? In the pairings, there's a home and away. Basically, if you have an advantage in pairings or in standings, you also get an advantage in pairings. But all of the underdogs, except for the Foxes, won through, which is crazy. 5 straight boosts, Ascendancy, and KDB all got through.
KDB, the 11th place coming out of the normal season, knocking down Hotshots, who were essentially undefeated. Had an amazing record for the normal season.
Yeah,
pretty surprising.
What was the? Yeah, KDB was essentially
KDB was they were 3 wins, 3 draws, 4 losses versus Hotshots 6 win, 3 draw, 1 loss.
Oh, so, they were 11th. Sorry, excuse me.
11th, yeah.
11th team out, takes out the number 1 team in a huge upset for the week, which
almost double their points scored.
Pretty impressive to take the division for them. This week, though, we got conference finals, and that means that KDB has to take on my own team, the Ascendancy, to win the Topanga Conference. Oh, now I forget which one's which. Ascendancy. We're in the Kelly Kapowski. That's right.
Yeah.
We are fighting it out for the last team out of the Kelly Kapowski Conference. And then we got to take on the Topanga Lawrence winner in the finals.
So either Foxes or 5 straight boost. Probably Foxes. After after the amazing performance this past week.
Well, maybe. I don't know. 5 straight boost has been pretty hot lately too. Very interesting turnout there. A lot of unexpected teams into the Final Four for that. That's going to be shaken out throughout the week, but very exciting to see which of those teams make it out on top. Unfortunately, because you play a different list every week, hard to get some actual data from it. But I guess we might be something, because we're going to talk about it later. I did want to see. Let's see. Does this have factions on it? No. I was going to see if there's any scum or CIS wins from this week, but I don't know who plays on which team right now, or which faction rather. So, anyways, either way, very exciting stuff. The Ascendancy talking a big game, so we're hoping to get to that finals at least to back up all the real smack talk we've been having. But let's go into another team event, the XTC. Now, their list come in an Excel file. Luckily, Cordray was able to convert these kind of for his own personal use, but I've been using it as just a way to be able to click on each of these lists. So we have them pulled up. The finals list, remember the XTC is 10 teams facing off this weekend. Actually, now that I talk about that, I forgot over the Firecast put together a nice graphic that's going around. I think I actually forgot to post it to our own Discord, but it's going around Facebook right now. Should be going around the Discords here soon. But we are committed to streaming the X-Wing Finals Firecast and myself here at Gold Squadron Podcast. That is going to be all, for Americans, it's going to be all Friday night into Saturday morning. But for everybody else, it's going to be 5 a.m. UTC on Sunday. So if you're up late or up early, we're going to have 9 games of X-Wing, international teams competing it out. It's going to be very exciting. I'm going to be super tired, but we're going to be having upbeat music, lively conversations, and a lot of coffee to get us through the night.
So it's for here in the Americas, it's Friday night, right?
Friday night. I'm starting at 11 p.m. Central.
Okay. And then it's going for how many rounds are we playing that first stretch?
Five rounds. So we estimate about 10 hours.
And then we're doing it again at the same time?
4 games on Saturday night.
At 11 at the same time?
Sunday morning. Yeah, same start time.
Okay.
Yeah, so all night. It's going to be an all-night party. If you're up late, like I said, or up early.
And the Europeans are going to cry about something because they're going to lose again.
We'll see. We'll see.
They're gonna be like,
we have to wake up early.
It's going to be very early. The timing of it is very strange because we have... you can see if I get this off the screen, we'll read out the teams. France, England, Wales, and Germany are our European teams. Colombia, USA, Mexico, and Canada are your North American, or just American teams, rather. And then Australia and New Zealand for the Oceanic teams, which creates, though, a problem that there's a very limited amount of time when it's not Monday for Australia and not Friday for America. So, which creates a strange time for an event. But yeah, very exciting to see each of these teams. Now, everybody submitted their lists over the weekend. Like I said, they're formatted in a strange format, but so it's not a way I can visually show you or talk about it. But like I said, Corder was nice enough to let me look at the compilation he had brought. And the first thing that jumps out at me is that there's only 5 faction bars at the bottom of this spreadsheet. Every single team not only chose to bring Rebels, Empire, Resistance, First Order, and Republic into the finals, they were also the teams who brought those into the group stage as well. I think if what did I say about it? That no team qualified with Scum or CIS in the group stage, and the closest were Pirates and Poland, who were like a couple individual wins away from getting in. And they had a CIS player, which is what I was saying before. Apparently, we got to play all 7 teams in XTC from the going on, because this is ridiculous that all 7 teams chose the same 5 factions. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, the results speak for themselves, right? You just said no team that brought CIS or Scum made it to the cut.
Right.
So why would you change and add those in when they clearly didn't work?
They didn't work, yeah. There was, I mean, obviously there is Scum and CIS lists that are like very scary and like hard to fight. But like for tournaments, though, like when you have the choice, it seems that nobody's willing to do it.
Oh yeah, I mean, a team-based format where you have some level of control in the matchups, that's where some of the normally underperforming lists in a general tournament that has to worry about Swiss and whatever they get paired against,
Mhm.
uh, you can get more niche with things to help find better matchups or present a problem in some matchups that people weren't expecting. But apparently, there's nothing anyone even bothered, and that might be correct anyway.
Yeah. I mean, the Team USA, to be transparent, we didn't switch factions because I recruited players to play a specific faction. So there was some discussion about having Crispy jump in as separatist, but ultimately didn't think that was the right choice.
Yeah, I think spreading this out a little bit more and having everyone play all 7 factions would give a better spread and would make for more interesting matchups as well.
Yeah, the problem was some teams were having a hard time just finding 5 starters.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, I mean, that's how we did it. The past couple of years was just um, less people playing. So
Right, it makes sense, and like even us who have the luxury of 2 subs, it's still a brutal weekend for the final to play all 9 games in 2 days. So, uh, still, let's take a look though at any outliers. Marcel, do you want one of our first outliers that we're looking at here?
shoot me with one because I definitely didn't look at any.
Kalen Wong's Canadian Darth Vader Defender list.
Okay, so he's gonna go 0-9 with.
I don't
Gonna go
know.
0-9 with.
Maybe not.
I don't know. Kalen's a scrub, isn't he? Like,
Yeah, probably.
isn't
But
that? Yeah. I don't.
which is interesting because I'm pretty sure Brandon was flying Scum or flying Empire for them previously. So I wonder.
All right. So let me
Brandon
see.
switched to
No, I'm seeing
Resistance.
Brandon. Well, I'm seeing Brandon's. Where's? Oh, you said he's flying. Which one?
Galen
What
Wong's
faction?
Canadian Empire list.
I know who. I know Empire. There you go. Okay.
Where else do you think Vader Defender is?
Empire. All right. So he's flying. Did you open it up already?
I have it up.
Okay. Cool. So he's flying Defender Vader, which is wow. When's the last time you seen that guy around? Like that
Before the points
Not-
change.
Not
One-
long enough ago.
In events, nowhere. In practice games, somewhat recently.
I have not seen him in
Funny to
practice anywhere
say,
Mhm.
amongst people who also Kalen plays with.
Yeah, I was
Not
about to
surprising.
say. I was like, "Who are you playing with? That's playing Defender."
So Kalen done whooped on him, and then they're like, I should try.
You know, I should try it.
It was the other way around.
Oh,
All right.
okay.
So starting off with the flex is flying a Defender Darth Vader and giving up the 1 point. He's like, I don't need the 10 points. I'm just gonna fly with 9 loadout points. It's heavy laser cannon and malice. Malice, I believe, is the one you spend the force to do a crit.
Do you crit? You put a pilot
and then
crit.
if you do a pilot or crew, then basically if you do a pilot crit, then you recover 2 force. That does not mesh with heavy, right? So it's basically just any other shot, any range one or
Any
out of
other
arc
shot,
or out of
yeah.
bullseye. Yeah. And then he's got the best ever Tomax Bren with True Grit, Iron Bombs, and Plasma Torpedoes, having that, all the fun stuff that True Grit allows Tomax to do. Major Rhymer with Saturation Salvo, Barrage Rockets, and Ion Bomb. Proton is 5, right? Proton bombs?
Proton's 5, yeah.
Okay.
It's either
that makes sense.
ion concussion or fused seismics.
Or seismic, yeah. Man, that cat does not get tired. and Deathfire with the best ever, the swift approach, counter nets, and proton bombs, basically being able to launch stuff. And I actually don't remember when's the last time I saw a 2-point TIE fighter either. I think they were pretty hot when like the whole TIE thing was happening. So that's kind of interesting. It's a
We've seen them
2.0
as
loadout
pillars.
TIE fighter.
We normally see
I
the
ha-
Black Squadron aces.
Yeah,
This
the
is an
Obsidian is the weird
Obsidian.
one.
What a
Yeah.
I know.
choice here for the
Yeah,
I
Obsidian.
know
not-
because
not
you're
the
either trying to
Academy.
go I1 so you can get out there first, or you're trying to go I3 so
I
you
mean,
can.
I2 is I1 these days.
But there are a lot of I1 ships.
So how?
Wait,
Oh,
are
actually,
there?
but I mean, it makes sense because Deathfire is I2, so
Deathfire
he's
is
trying
two,
to move.
yeah.
Like he's trying to be able to say like, okay, at least he gives them a little bit of agency on which one moves first.
Right. You can move the
with
TIE
those
fighter
two.
out of the way for Deathfire if need be.
Yeah. I mean, it does make sense, especially if you're gonna,
If they're
like,
going to be leading the charge, most likely, right?
yeah,
Like,
especially because Deathfire has to fully execute the maneuver in order to get his
mhm.
his ability off. So you want to be able
Right.
to choose whether
Yeah.
he moves first or second from that Obsidian. So I mean, it makes sense, but
There is
this
the
is like
advantage
the
of blocking right now is that you're really stressing your opponent because you can't really take away their actions. You can essentially apply stress to them, right? Which, if
Yeah.
they're stressed and your Darth Vader is not, turns out your Darth Vader can K-turn, but you had to keep going the same direction. So maybe,
Yeah, and also the ability to grab boxes first,
oh, that's true. The toe
um,
action, yeah.
or even if you are moving first, you can go for a block and then hit the buttons as well
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
to get under those I3. We have a ton of I3s, right?
I mean, a
Yeah.
lot, I
So
guess.
I mean, we got a few, but yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I'm curious to see how this plays out with. If anything, it does create a matchup conundrum, because most people are doing whether it's a good matchup, a bad matchup, or kind of like a toss up based on known quantity. So when they see an archetype, or they see a 5T70 archetype or something like that, they kind of got an idea of whether it's a good or bad matchup. But when they run up to something like this, it kind of takes you out of your automatic, like, yeah, I know this, I know which direction this is headed. So it makes you do a little bit more critical thinking and just and just dive into it. And Darth Vader really is.
Yeah, just like throwing off your opponent. Like how often have you practiced against Darth Vader Defender? When you're practicing like your XTC list,
Oh God, look, sorry, this is so annoying. That cat went up there because I wasn't paying attention to him, and he knocked down my work mouse because I'm not listening to him. I don't know if you can see him over there.
You need like one of those little harnesses, or what are those like bouncy things? People, Ryan, you know what I'm talking about.
I
Put him in the
don't
little
know. He
bouncy
is.
chair.
Oh, you can't even see him because it's all dark. But yeah, he's over there somewhere.
It is all dark.
Yeah. Anyway.
You need a little bouncy
oh,
thing for him to sit in.
Yeah.
Anyways, pretty brave. But I mean, even though it's a 9-point ship, the fact that you're still getting it's Darth Vader Defender +4, which I think is very interesting. Leaning into how cheap those bombers are at just 3 points apiece, and a TIE fighter. I mean, TIE fighter is a wash. Like sometimes they're the all-star, sometimes they're just like, oh, someone with 3 dice attack saw me, and now I'm out. Yeah. But
and each of those bombers bringing a source of ion as well.
That's true. Ion bombs on 2 of them and counter nets. This is what I'm saying. Like, I think the stress from bumps and the ion is what could actually keep your Darth Vader Defender safe then, right? That amount of control, which traditionally Empire doesn't have access to. The like ion cannon turrets or anything like that, right? They had to rely on these
Yeah.
bombers,
Yeah, bombs or like ion torpedoes or ion missiles.
right?
Yeah, I would say they probably have, maybe besides like resistance, the fewest instances of like ion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, let's keep it moving here. Do you guys got a different outlier list here? Unfortunately, a lot of lists are the same, which is kind of like not surprising that you know the top 10 teams would choose top tier lists. But
I would like to generally point out the Republic tab that there's a lot of. Well, all right. So let me. Let's,
yeah. we
is
we
everything
you
actually beef, or is it
no
just 6
no okay
ships?
So
as a no
it's-
beef means at least 2 arcs except for the 7 ship,
Yeah.
which is technically just
Okay.
a regular swap.
I don't even think quote at least 2 arcs is even beef.
So how about that?
all of the 5 ships
Some of those
do have
yeah.
3
3
arcs.
arcs. Yeah.
It's only
Okay.
the 6 ships
So-
that have 2
and
arcs.
Well,
most of them have 2 arcs and 2 Y wings. That's beef.
I get the feeling there's at least there. I know the person, Jorge, who is running triple arc and 6 ship. What he won that Vancouver World Qualifier with,
Mm-hmm.
from Team Mexico.
Team Mexico.
He's running the triple arc.
Yeah, triple arc, kickback,
double
axe
Z.
boost. Yeah.
Jorge
There is a 7 ship list in Republic, which is probably
Yeah.
the single outlier you want to look at there.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, with no
From
arcs.
New Zealand.
No arcs in their
No
Republic
arcs.
list?
Arc list.
SOC Anakin, Contrail, V-Wing Oddball, SOC Kickback, both the Z95s, and SOC Axe.
Yeah.
And
so
actually,
it's-
I've seen this trick, not trick. I've seen few people use this, but putting swarm tactics on Contrail to swarm Axe up to 5 and let Axe shoot first with the barrage rocket to then feed with Axe's ability a lock to Kickback, who can then shoot a double modded Diamond Boron missile if Kickback took a focus instead of invade.
What's Axe's ability?
Yeah.
Axe the
No,
SSC
Axe
form.
is yeah, he's got
after
the
you-
After you perform an attack, you may choose another friendly ship with the Born for this ability at range 0 to 2 in your side arcs, either one. The chosen ship gains a lock on the defender.
So I actually did this, but without Anakin. I had Oddball to protect the Axe and yeah. Well, actually, I didn't have exactly this because I had Axe and the other one, the Diamond Boron one, but to protect them from crits, to do a 7 ship with Oddball, Axe, the Diamond Boron, the 2.
Kickback is
Yeah.
in here.
Kickback
Where
is
is
in
he?
there. There's
Okay,
2
yeah.
Torrents.
So it is the exact list minus Anakin for Oddball, and it worked out pretty well. It's just 7 ships on a board is.
I
tough to
think you had
maneuver.
Click in there,
Yeah.
I would imagine. Or sorry, yeah, Click as your other V-Wing, but basically 2Z.
Versus Contrail. Yeah. Click. Yeah, it was Click, Oddball. Not that Oddball. Yeah, you're right. It was Click, Contrail, Oddball, and Slider, Boost, Axe. So it was very
Well,
simple.
I mean,
Let me throw a curveball at you here.
what you got?
While I do think having an I6 and a 7 ship is a pretty good trick, I think a ship that might actually assist the entire squad more is Custom Shock T. Holding some of those evade tokens on both torrents on their way in can make them additionally durable on top of them both having Born for this to share that evade with anybody.
Ryan.
So they
you
go
need to
into the
stop
first
talking right now.
engagement storing up 2 evades. They both get to focus. Axe gets to shoot at I5 with barrage rockets, and then Kickback's got focus lock for the Diamond Boron missile. And both of them have evades for everybody.
Get out of here. This is my secret sauce that I've been building up.
It's no secret.
Shakti is a secret.
She's
With
pretty good.
Sage of Coruscant. Yeah.
Pretty good.
I think it's easy to get lost in the offensive efficiency of Triple Arc.
I mean, it's a really good trick to bring really well modified 3-die attacks when, like, because the one thing I've noticed with the 6 to 7 ship Republic lists that don't bring consistent or well modified 3-die attacks is they could have issues doing real damage to like Han or like a Rack, those type of ships that can take a while to bring down if committed fire, and if you don't, if your first pass isn't damaging enough, and you've kind of lost a whole lot, you lost a whole turn trying to do damage to them in the first place.
Yeah, we've definitely seen rounds where you put everything you have into Rack or Han, and it just wasn't close to enough, and they get away, either by Han slipping away, or Rack just having too much health for you to finish.
True. It is interesting here as well, sneaking in at least one copy I've dedicated on the Z95. So not only can you pass focus tokens with your sieges, you can also pass evade tokens, and now you can give out rerolls as well. Just shoving all of those modifiers into these V-Wings, or just one of the Zs who needs help is very interesting.
Also, boost getting a double reposition.
Because you can barrel roll then boost.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a trick. Let me tell you. Yeah, you can boost over somebody, can you? If they're small base, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Bold, yeah. The synchronized console and expert handling. Is he trying to get locks from on ball there? With this two synchronized, hard to say. But yeah, this is. It feels like
there's 3 synchronized in there.
Is there a third?
Yeah. Both of the V-Wings.
Oh, sure. Why not? Be handing out the locks to each other, to the lower initiative ships. This is like, it feels like a Rune Goldberg machine though. Like, I got to do this to do that. I got to make sure my axe shoots, blah blah blah. But even with
not really, because at the end of the day, you still got 7 ships, so you're gonna be like really causing trouble with objectives.
And yeah, at least 4 of them have 3 dice attacks that they can get pretty easily. So that is scary. That's a lot to deal with. But let's keep it moving here, though. So that was Republic and Empire. Is there anything in Rebels or Resistance we should be looking at then, James?
I saw something in FO. There's only one non Kylo list. So one brave soul. I didn't want to do. I didn't either do Wilo or Silencer. Kylo.
Surprisingly, 1, 2, 3 silencers being brought as well.
Yeah.
USA and the Oceanic teams bring in a silencer Kylo. But if you don't bring Kylo, James, what would you bring? Or what did this team bring?
Well, the next best thing, I think, right? Von Rig, pretty close to the next best thing, at least. With elusive deuterium power cells and magpulse warheads, able to use those deuterium power cells to regen and just do nasty things with those fine-tuned thrusters. And we have, I think all the rest of these TIE FOs also brings 5 TIE FOs with Midnight, Malorus, Gaelic, DT-798, and Scorch. So I was like, did we not see Malorus? Oh, there she is. Okay. Midnight with Fanatical and Swarm Tactics. Pretty spicy. I don't know who you're trying to Swarm Tactics up. Is there anyone in here that needs it?
DT or Scorch?
DT or Scorch?
Well, probably not DT, unless they're going to perish.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. Malorus with Mag Pulse instead of clusters.
I was going to say, it could also be the Mag Pulse. Shooting a Mag Pulse at I6 instead of I5 could be the difference.
There you go. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Gaelic with marksmanship ion cannon. DT, and here's a little spicy bit here. DT and Scorch both have deuterium power cells, able to either regen a shield or to throw their. I guess it doesn't really do anything for Scorch because it's just a stress, right? So I guess Scorch can just use it for
For shields, for you get shields back.
shield.
It says during the system phase, you can spend one of the 2 charges to gain a disarm to recover a shield. Before you would gain 1 non-lock token. If you are strained, you can spend a charge to gain 1 stress instead. So Scorch obviously wouldn't want to do this before they're shot, but something like a Reaper comes up and tries to give you a jam, and you're unstressed with a blue maneuver, you could switch it from a jam into a stress, I guess.
Right.
Also, like
so it's
ion
not that
tokens
it's not nearly as good on Scorch as DT, because DT can put that strain on there if he needs to be more defensive.
Right, when he does his 3 dice attack.
Mhm.
Yeah, he just does with him Superior power cells. DT is just second Scorch.
Second Scorch, yeah. Or it can get like over the course of the game 2 shields or regen a shield without taking a disarm.
Pretty powerful.
So, leaning into 3 deuterium power cells in that list. I'm interested to see this on stream to see how he uses those cells.
I mean, more health is good. Oh no, my ship's almost dead. Bye.
Oh no.
Oh no, I'm gonna go regen some health without even taking an action. By the way.
Yeah, no action. Yeah, just
Yeah,
well, I
you
guess
just
like
in
I guess
system
having
phase.
to do a blue maneuver. Yeah.
Like I don't need to shoot. I need to live and do objective things. All right,
Yeah.
gotcha, boss.
It turns out blue maneuvers on FOs are pretty hot. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. It's Kester Smith out of England.
I think deuterium power cells like. I don't probably depend on your composition of the list, but I think most of my favorite FO compositions, whether they're 5 ship or 6 ship, you should be running 2 ships with deuterium power cells. One of them is DT. That's like the minimum. After that, it's like, are you bringing Von Reg with deuterium power cells, or are you bringing like Scorch with deuterium power cells? Or Dread. I've seen Dread with Bomblet generated deuterium power cells. That's a good objective.
Quick draw.
Quick draw, yeah, totally.
All right. Let's see if then. So let's see. That was Republic, First Order, and Empire. Strangely, I think the only outlier for Resistance is USA's team. I didn't look through.
So I'm looking through. It looks like all the 4X+1s are Zori, and all the 3X+2s are Zori Lulos.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
I wonder, are any of the X's not Elo Tem and Jess?
Ooh, that's a question.
I'm pretty sure they all were.
Elo Tem and Jess. Elo Tem and Jess.
And that's where I go back to my introduction, like middle name. Like we need a point change. This is ridiculous. This is.
I don't know. Do we?
I mean,
we do. When 9 versions of the same faction are basically identical. Yes, we do.
And as a note, the outlier has 2 of those 3 X-wings still.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, because it's you bumped up to 9. Oh,
Tim and 9.
Okay.
Well, it's still 3X
that's
plus
a good
1.
That's a good reason. That's a good reason to go up.
Yeah, true. Yeah. There's very clear good pieces for the Resistance, but so yeah, this list Joel had brought in the group stage and did very well with it. Has Timon with Heroic and M9, and underslung a 9 nub with Heroic Pattern Analyzer, R4D, 8, that's the Squad Predator Droid, and Heavy Laser Cannon. Then Elo with Heroic Marksmanship and Heavy Laser Cannon as well. Then Poe in the Falcon, rocking Lone Wolf, Trick Shot, Chewbacca. Chewbacca is the crew member that when a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is dealt a damage card, you get a charge. And once you get that second charge, you can spend both of them to make an eyeball to a crit result. So he's basically the jankiest the jankiest fifth brother gunner you've ever heard of. Ray, of course, internet
Nasty.
what?
I say nasty though with that Ray being able to just,
Ray,
like,
Chewbacca,
Lone Wolf, like, if
Lone Wolf, and a focus token.
Yeah.
Like, yikes. You should be hitting pretty solid there. If you take a target lock with, once you have Chewbacca up, then you can take a target lock as well. If and like you don't have Lone Wolf. Either way, it's a lot of offensive modifiers smashed into a Falcon. Joe's been flying it pretty great. Flew it pretty much all store champ season as well, so he's very comfortable with it. We did not break out.
Fly the... Oh, this is the Paul Falcon. Yes, he did fly this the whole store championship series.
Yeah, he knows it. He knows it.
For some reason, I was thinking,
I think recently he has switched to 5X, is what we were talking about. And guess what? We would have ended up being one of these 4X plus ones as well, had we gone with that. So ultimately, I don't think it was the right decision. I think that Poe Falcon is that same like twist, like you're saying, that like, man, it's not something you can exactly predict. You're the generic.
Yeah, because now you got to think about two different Hans in a. You got to pair up against two different Hans.
Basically, yeah. Then Rebels. I looked at Rebels as is all of the Han plus 3s a Fang fighter in there. This one's got Chopper.
I know a lot of the plus 3s. There's got to be some choppers in there.
Yeah, I want to say is that Nicholas Mulder's chopper?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, Nicholas. I assume so. Yeah, from Germany. Had brought Fen Rao as the 5-pointer and Chopper as a 6-pointer. So basically, instead of
also no Luke.
No Luke, taking Fen Rao with swarm tactics and clan Ren training. So that's to bump Chopper up to I6, having now 4 quality shots at I6, especially if Fen Rao can get the target lock and then take the red action from clan training. That could be very, very spicy for an opening engagement with that Chopper. Oh, let's see, what was the other ones? I guess I opened them in order. So this would be England's.
I saw 1 or 2 in there that like had Hull canned.
So this would be Colombia's. It looks like has Boudica Hera as 2 4-pointers.
Yeah, Carlos from Mexico brought Hull instead of Boudica. Yeah.
Interesting. So
sorry, Hull instead of, I guess, what would that be? What's the other 3.8 wing?
That's usually instead of it. Yeah, it's usually instead of wedge. That's what Bartels is kind of was flying later.
Yeah. Looks like Cam Murray also decided to go that route, the whole route.
Yeah, it's something that I talked to Levi, Team USA's Rebel player, about. And they had just preferred Wedge's speed rather than Hull's. Hull is a little bit better for objectives because you still can precise astromech a target lock and like still modify your attacks, but it's still just a Y-wing, So
Yeah, but he can stick around. You know,
I mean, I think Hull's
yeah.
pretty good, but I think I would also take Hull over maybe Wedge as the other 3-point option, but only because I think Hull is I4. Man, if he was I3, I think we'd be talking different. But
Yeah, Hull's a little bit harder to fly, but he's I think he has a possibility of being more productive.
He can shoot multiple advanced proton torpedoes pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's no enemy ships at range 1 to 2, you can recover a charge on any upgrade, which means you could come in, focus, lock, precision astromech, blast something with your advanced proton torpedo. Now you get your advanced proton torpedo back, and then the following round, you 2 straight focus lock the next target and hit them with the second advanced proton. Like could be very scary, but to let your opponent do that seems silly. Why would you let them do that?
I'm curious, are most of the Hans trick shot Hans, or are most of them engine chopper?
I think most are engine chopper. I would imagine. No, there's a trick shot or 2 in here.
Yeah, there's a couple trick shots. I'm actually seeing more trick shots than not.
Trick shot.
What about that?
Yeah, all of the ones. That's the first one I saw. Levi was the first one I saw that was not trick shot. Carlos also not trick shot. Cam is trick shot.
Blair's.
Yeah. So
chopper.
only two not bringing trick shot.
Yeah, trick shots being preferred now.
I don't know if that's
Interesting.
right, but sure.
Mo dice, Ryan.
I mean,
You can't argue with that.
Why don't you shoot
It's
10
the
dice?
category of like win more versus get wins, and I think in most cases that I've looked at, sure, it's nice to throw more dice, but like if you bump and need to not do a blue move, if you need to do a move over a debris cloud and still do an action, a bunch of things that chopper engine Han can take advantage of. If you'd like to boost and not be stressed,
Right.
I think there's situations in games where that chopper and engine upgrade get you wins you would not have gotten versus trick shot just makes you win harder.
That you lose chopper in that. Okay, I think I'm on the chopper train.
Yeah. It's
okay.
engine and chopper versus
engine and chopper. Okay.
Not
All right. I am definitely the other way then. I thought you still get chopper with the trick shot.
No.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
no.
I mean, oh no. What will Han ever do to have to decide between right?
Yeah. Or almost
getting
getting back to
he
almost
needs.
Yeah, almost getting back to the handbrake. Handbrake
question,
on.
And I think I know the answer, but just for clarity. Han likes to fly over rocks in order to not die. With Chopper, because Chopper
he likes
says
to fly
when you
next
bump,
to them, right?
No, but I mean to escape, if he's like locked in, instead of taking like 3 shots, he'll just fly over a rock.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed damage, and then
like an asteroid. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. But if he gets blocked into one, can he use? No. That's a different one. That chopper is on stress, right? It's not like I'm thinking on Carplot. Never mind.
Yeah, you're thinking on Carplot. No.
So Chopper specifically says during the perform action step, you may perform one action even while stressed. So bump focus would not be.
On Carplot would let you like bump into somebody on top of a rock and then like lose.
I don't think on Carplot lets you do it while stressed. You would need contraband and on Carplot at the same time.
But also we'd have to.
No. I said over a rock. I didn't say over debris.
Oh.
No,
either way, Chopper is not.
Yeah, because you're skipping your perform action. If you
partially execute a maneuver, you may suffer 1 damage. Yeah, on Carplot isn't in the perform action step, and the asteroid, when you land on an obstacle, it only says you skip or perform action steps. So on car, you could still action on top of a obstacle.
Yeah, if you overlap the obstacle and lost your perform action step.
Yeah,
It is true.
because on car
do
plus
not
action is
people-
not during perform action step.
We do not see people use an Unkar Plut to like ram into a ship to get like focus lock. That's actually
No.
pretty interesting.
Well, you're in the wrong faction now, bud.
I know. We're in the wrong faction. I
Yeah,
don't
first
think.
you take the worst faction, and then you can start playing with toys.
But yeah, like Chopper Hans should be taking debris clouds because you can fly over them. You can re-roll the dice if it comes up bad. You're only rolling a dice, and on a hit, you take a hit. On a crit, you take a crit. So Han gets the chance to re-roll that. So you're not always taking auto damage, and the stress is pretty well mitigated by you just using Chopper to take a damage and leave and get an action.
Pretty cool.
Anything else you wanted to hit on XTC stuff?
No. Like I said, big just announcement that we are going to be streaming all Friday night for most of the USA. It's going to be for all Friday night. So it's going to be super exciting. Join me. Keep us.
I'll be there with you.
You're gonna be there? Oh, that's awesome.
I'll be there.
It's gonna be an all night party. Let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have people
Better bring
coming and
better
going.
bring your party pants.
Yeah, we're gonna have. I'm trying to get a lot of guests in there. If I could grab like subs who aren't playing for the round, or like a non-playing captain or something. Actually, I think I'm the only non-playing captain, which is interesting. But I guess there's a couple non-playing coaches I think I can steal potentially. I don't know. We're still formatting all the information that we got because it takes a bit. But as far as like the list and stuff, yeah, it was a bit, I would say, like in conclusion, disappointing. It's not more exciting. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wish we could talk about somebody who's like real confident in their scum squad or a CIS silver bullet that's going to blow away the competition. And that, fortunately, just wasn't anything like that. Now we'll keep an eye on a couple of those outliers that kind of break the format. The only other outlier I can think of out of all these was Steve's list, just because Coach Ray sorted these into Decimator or Vader, and Steve's list has both. So, pretty interesting there. See how it all shakes down. Yeah, should be.
Is it Rack?
No, it's Morna.
Okay, I was like,
don't get me started with what USA is doing over here. We're making choices, all right?
Making real choices out here.
We're making choices, let me tell you. We'll see.
All right, take it to the top choices.
I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out this weekend.
This weekend in the brawl down. Come on.
It's not this weekend.
It is next weekend, isn't it? Yeah.
Next weekend, not this weekend.
Yeah. I thought it was this weekend.
What date do you think it is, Marcel?
It's the 16th and 17th. Right?
You're spooking me now.
Now you're spooking me.
15th and 16th? Is it the 15th and 16th?
No.
I'm pretty sure it's this weekend.
Oh God, are you serious?
Are you
Okay,
serious?
so I was the whole time I thought it was the 15th and 16th. That's why I told you I had a dinner cruise. I was going to be out till
I
like
know.
1
I
a.m.
was like, why is he playing dinner cruises?
So I take that back. I am wholly available that weekend. I have a bunch of parties on the 15th and 16th for like Christmas events, but the 8th and 9th, I
that's
don't have any.
I'm
Good to know.
Good to know, Marcel. I'm glad. I'm glad you'll.
I'm
be
glad
there.
we talked this through.
Yeah, he shows up on like
I
next
even
on
told William
Sunday.
like if I have to play Saturday, my cruise ends at 1 a.m. Or no, it ends around midnight, and I'll be home around 1 a.m. So I can take like the later games, but I might not be.
All right,
You
man.
know,
I really got to work
fully
on
there.
that countdown. We really need that countdown up right now.
Right, I'll be there and I'll be available,
I hope so.
and I'll be sober.
Even
Which,
better.
if it was the week
Well-
after, I might not have been.
Either way. Well, maybe
It's
if you were starting, you would have got the time right. You know.
I blame one person for that.
No,
Is
I'm
it,
honestly like really glad you're going to be there. It is a long stretch, and we need getting that filler to just jump in, Marcel. I'm so confident in your play. Come in there.
Is it
So
11?
confident he
not-
called
not-
you a filler.
Yeah.
He's not a filler. No, the
Thank
subs
you,
are
Ryan.
the most important. Ryan, have you ever been playing a 4 games of X-Wing and are just dead at 4 in the morning?
Well,
And you just need to tap out?
I'll take
Just
solace
please.
in saying that the other pointless, useless fill-in is Crispy. So I'll take solace.
Crispy might end up playing like 8 of those 9 games. So
Yeah,
I
I hope so.
don't-
He's good.
I don't. Again, this was my original sub strategy. So like we're gonna use our subs in the finals. So
It's
Well,
11
not
p-
not
11
not
p.m.
if
Chicago.
not if half of us think that it's like the week after.
I need more subs. I need a whole team of subs. Apparently.
You said
Anyways,
11 p.m.
11
Yeah,
p.m.
Chicago.
Central. It's 5 a.m.
Central.
I will get my.
I got a countdown going.
Yeah, please give us the countdown. Here, Firecast made a logo. 5 a.m. UTC. Saturday the 9th. Get your alarm clocks, I guess.
So almost like
Now I do have a store
exactly 4 days
championship
away.
on the 10th.
Well, you'll make it. You know.
Sounds like you're not going.
No, we stopped
No,
playing at
go.
like
I'll
5
be-
a.m. on the 10th. You'll be fine.
I'll be fine. I mean,
You'll
it'll
have
be
some
like
warm-up
round
rounds.
6. Oh no, it'll be like yeah. So it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. I won't worry about it. Uh-oh.
So in like exactly
yes.
4 days and 45 minutes.
Sure, if that's what the countdown says. Trust me, every time I had to think about time zones, I had to imagine how the world and the sun moves around it. Because I get so confused. Trust me, all of XTC trying to figure out that Australia is not actually behind the United States, it's ahead of Europe, was like a galaxy brain explosion for most of everybody. So
You should have jumped at the chance to say someone was ahead of Europe.
Oh, well, don't worry. It'll be all weekend.
Oh.
To be making those jokes.
Oh, you made it better.
Anyways, speaking of Europeans, now we wanted to briefly touch on a German World Qualifier that went on this weekend, though we're getting, at this time, limited information from it. Europe has pretty strict identification laws. That's not even what I'm.
It's
what-
a privacy law.
Yeah, internet
Privacy,
privacy.
thank you.
Yeah.
internet privacy. So it's not the standard to have names attached to things. But we did get a list from it, though, so I could pull that up, which kind of goes into a lot of what we were talking about for the XTC. So let's see if I got that pulled up. Here it is. So German World Qualifier was won by a trick shot Perceptive Stan Hahn, Boy Luke, Beskar, Reinforced Plating Sabine, all the usual suspects, but takes then a 6-point Chopper VCX with only 2 upgrades. Magva Yarrow, after you defend, if the attack hit, acquire a lock, and Saw Gerrera. When you do an attack, suffer 1 damage to change all your eyeballs to crits. So this chopper can reinforce, get target locks, and convert eyeballs on offense.
You're talking about double modding your offense while having reinforce?
While reinforcing. Sounds pretty good.
How many jams did it take to get rid of that?
Just one jam.
Yeah.
Just one jam, hopefully. Pretty good stuff there. Plus, I mean, Chopper's ability as a blocker himself, very powerful. At the start of the engagement phase, each enemy ship at range 0 gains 2 jam tokens. The second one's even funnier, so it'll break your lock on a rock and take away your red focus action.
Yeah, you might as well just not red focus, right?
That's the trap, that you can't even red focus when you bump into Chopper.
You only do that one time, and then you're like, well, I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah, it only took me watching somebody do it accidentally to say, never again, never do that. But yeah, very interesting list here, bringing that battering ram of Chopper to basically give Han Solo and Luke some time, some cover to get in there. Plus, it's another large base for assault at the satellite array as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
and just objectives in general. I think Chopper is great at that because it could even like push buttons and still get double mods.
True.
Push button. I dare you to shoot me.
Yeah, shoot me, shoot me.
I want you to
Yeah.
shoot me.
Like, are you gonna shoot me or Luke? Luke's gonna dodge it. Hey, you're not shooting Han. Turns out.
Luke will mitigate it. He's not dodging everything.
True.
Yeah, but I mean, if they're having to push a button, you know.
Oh yeah.
But
True.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah. Either way, Chopper very mean. I know this is not new thing to bring Chopper. Now that he's down to just 6 points. Ooh, cheapest VCX there is. But yeah, I mean with some essential loadout though too. Saw Guerrera 5 loadout points. But wow, when you're shooting a 4 or 5 dice attack, and you have 14 health, could be pretty good. You always had to shoot Chopper just so he doesn't Saw Guerrera himself a lot.
Yeah, Saw is 9.
So it's 9. Oh dang.
Yeah, Magva's 5. Which Magva being 5 is ridiculous. People get free locks for like 2 points in some factions. But
4-point Zam, long overdue.
yeah, when Magva was like 6 and Zam was like 4, I was like, what is happening to this? Nothing makes sense.
You did in fact make this countdown thing that I've now clicked on. Okay, perfect. So very exciting there. Still Han, which is like to no one's surprise, but a 4-ship, making it all the way. Does break a lot of our averages. We assume that you have to have 5 ships to be effective.
Yeah, and there's only one double tapping ship in this list too. Because like usually if you're bringing like 4 ships, like you gotta have a couple double tappers, right?
Sure, you do like veteran turret gunner chopper or Boudica or something like that. Sure. Well, it turns out if you can quickly make your opponent also have 4 ships, you find yourself at an advantage pretty quickly. So yeah, awesome. Well done there for Han and Chopper. But we just want to touch on that a little bit while we break into our last topic here. Pax Unplugged, which we got a bunch of information about. Specifically, the winner, Duncan Howard, takes the victory. With the list here, we'll break down the top 4 lists, and I should have them all right here. Yeah. So, Duncan Howard goes undefeated in the entire event in Swiss and the elimination rounds with 7B Anakin Skywalker, Predator, R4P, that's the action after you do a red maneuver, droid, and shield upgrade. Adi Galia, she has the ability to deny range bonuses. This is in her calibrated laser targeting version with Chopper and Debris Gambit, an adorable combination because Chopper gives you an evade action that's red. Debris Gambit can turn it into white. So you basically, for the first 2 rounds of the game, can get a free boost and a free evade token in addition to your action. Free boost or barrel roll. So very maneuverable. And then afterwards, you can start jamming. You can jam and take white evades as your action as well. Oh, I guess you can't take white evades because Debris Gambit.
Debris Gambit gives you red evade, and if you're range 0 to 1,
it still gives you the red evade. Yes. I was going to say it doesn't interact with your purple evades you normally have, but it would.
Okay, does that
interact?
It doesn't interact with the chopper evade, right?
Yes, it
It
does.
does.
That's the
Yes.
whole point.
Okay, so it gives you
Yeah.
basically the white chopper evade.
Yeah.
Yep. So you don't have to be
Howdy.
stressed in the early rounds. So you can still have your full dial open
Nice.
while you're trying to dump at least one of the charges.
Yep, you
Yeah,
can.
but I
five
think
forward,
you, even
boost
after you're done,
towards a debris.
even after Chopper is erratic, you still can white evade.
Right, I forgot that
sure.
Debris Gambit gave you a red evade action.
Okay,
as
gotcha,
well.
gotcha.
Yep.
I was like, I know there's like some debate on like harder actions versus easier.
Right.
whatever.
I was trying to figure out how it
It's one of the
interacts
only
with the
ways
purple
to get a
evades.
single ship to have all 3 levels of a single action.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Any purple evade ship that can put Debris Gambit on is one of the only ways to have all 3 levels of an action exist on the same ship.
Wow.
Yeah, that is interesting. Blue action win, AMG.
That doesn't even make sense, but I guess. I mean, I thought it did make sense that ships could slam a blue maneuver and clear a stress, but
Yeah,
you can.
It's a maneuver. What do you mean?
You can. I don't know how or why you're doing
Yeah, you
that,
can take
but-
a slammer in the torrent, do a 2 red move, and then slam for a 2 speed blue move
Yep.
and clear it. It's pretty hilarious actually.
Yeah, Slammer is so bad but so fun.
Yep.
Like
Jeez.
Look at what I can do. Wee, dead.
dead.
Isn't there 2? No, the other one's a boost. That's right. Anyways, enough about bad torrents. Back to Duncan's.
There's so many of them though.
Back to Duncan's winning list here. Also brings an oddball SOC. That's the one with the extra shield, selfless, veteran turret gunner, and R4P astromech can even give out locks to himself or friendlies if he does a red maneuver or action. But brings another arc here to round out the list. This is customizable wolf with veteran tail, R4P, and expert handling. Something I know we here have been campaigning as an alternative to wolf. You don't have to bring the soccer wolf. He's in fact objectively worse than regular wolf, except for the
Born for this.
Except for the born for this, right?
And Wolfpack.
Yeah. Wolfpack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
people don't use
I think
Wolfpack
you
a lot,
really
though.
need to drive something that can fuel Wolfpack. Otherwise, if just this is what you get for it, I don't know if it's as good as the expert handling R4P you gain with custom.
Right.
Yeah, you need the wolf pack with Jag or with like somebody that has R3 and doing stuff offensively with the R3, not click.
Well, Wolfpack only works with other Siege of Coruscant and Plo.
Oh, then there you go.
Click,
So basically,
Click
you have
has R3, but
It only works with Siege of Coruscant. Well, you're talking about like 4-point
back click, yeah.
click.
No,
Wow.
no. I guess it only works with Jag, really.
yeah,
It
that's
only makes sense if you got
that's really
Jag.
what it comes down to. Is that maybe kickback with his Diamond Boron if he didn't need to spend the lock, but it's mostly Jag. Jag and Wolf SOC are really ways to generate free abilities. Are basically free locks for Wolf. But if you don't have Jag, you might as well just be running the customizable Wolf. You get the better droid, and you get the better talent in expert handling.
Yeah.
From what I've read, we didn't get any coverage of it, unfortunately, but from what I've read, always arcs in the middle, Anakin and Adi on the outside, which is pretty standard ace and tank play. But yeah, I have to assume making great use of Anakin's ability to clear stress while doing red maneuvers, and Adi being able to jam specific targets with that chopper. Took this list above and beyond the rest of the competition there. Not to say that Duncan had quite a bit of challenges coming into it. Not coming into it. A lot of difficult lists also made it into the top cut. Why don't we go down to the next one? Velvet Buddha's Empire list. Who wants to read out the Empire list?
I do that one. Velvet Buddha, aka Andrew Block, who ran Rack with Death Troopers, Vader Crew, Agile Gunner, Ruthless, Dauntless, and Electronic Baffle. I feel like that Rack, when Vader's not in the list, is like that's the normal Rack. That's your starting point Rack. And not starting point isn't like build upon it. It's in like you should probably start here, and you have to find really good reasons for it to not be this.
Yeah, like, if you're not bringing Darth Vader in the list, then as a pilot, then I think this is like the standardized version that we've been seeing.
We got the standard loadout Tomax Bren with the True Grit Plasma Torpedoes Ion Bombs. Standard loadout Deathfire. We have Major Rhymer with Sat Salvo Barrage Rockets and Ion Bombs, and then Captain Faroff with 000 and Ruthless. I know people who've been using Captain Faroff kind of go for the Hark targeting computer and Ion Limiter Override, but that 000 adds another layer of like, do you want to stress or give me a calculate type of thing? Faroff is more free to jam more if he can get that calculate. That Ruthless also is great too, where you have all this health everywhere to pull from, and these bombers that kind of end up making like their good shooting pass, and then they kind of are okay moving past you to go to objectives and lay down ion bombs. So like they might not actually get shot a ton on their way through. Or you could find one bomber, I'm pretty sure, to root this off of, and you'd be completely okay with it.
It's Deathfire.
It could be any of them, really. I'm not like it. It's completely situationally dependent. And from what I hear, in their final game, Andrew had a sizable lead in the mid game. This was Assault, so you have Faroff and Sherinu around against two arcs. And Andrew had a pretty decent lead, and Duncan barely clawed his way back to get in the last round a direct hit through onto Rack that tied the game, and they played another round. And there was no more, like, at that point, Andrew didn't have a good or reasonable win condition, so Duncan was able to close it out through barely scratching and clawing his way back into that game. So by no means, it was a really good game from what I hear. Andrew put a lot of pressure on Duncan early, played really well with his rack, capping 3 objectives in successive rounds, just getting his rack to stay in the same spot in that middle of a triangle type of thing, which netted him a lot of early points.
Yeah, that's 6 points. That's like,
wow. I heard it might have been 3 turns in a row, so it could have been 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like destroying like an Adi Gallia's worth of points, you know?
It was Andrew who? Sorry.
Andrew Block. He's from Atlanta area.
So like definitely could have gone either way in that game with Duncan. But yeah, I mean, it is interesting that the Faroff build with like, because I also see Seventh Sister a lot in that slot.
You can't take it anymore.
You can't?
No, Faroff lost a loadout point.
Faroff only has 6 points of loadout.
That's why you don't see it anymore. Yep, that is right. You can't put child or anything on Faroff anymore.
So, but he could have taken Vizier with Palpatine if he wanted, but
could have.
Yeah,
I know people who do that to try and maybe elongate the life of the bombers, but Faroff's effect on the game and just the difficulty to bring down Faroff and Sherinu, and then you have these bombers just controlling the board really well with their threat of offense and their bombs. it's tough. I would fly this Empire list right now if I my adjustment from my Crossroads list was very similar to this, except instead of Reimer and Faroff, I had Lareer and Volt, the double interceptor style. I've been trying out this version, and I think I like it a lot more. So if I was playing Empire today, I would bring exactly what Andrew Block brought to PAX.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Very powerful squad indeed. Next up, we have BF. I was going to say BF Freeman. That's not how it looks. It looks like B Freeman, most likely. Brings
No, that's
a
be free, man.
B Freeman. I like that as well. Anyways, brings the first order. James, what did they bring?
We have a Wilo with brilliant evasion, instinctive aim, concussion missiles, advanced optics, and enhanced jamming suite. Pretty standard loadout build if you want those concussion missiles. Lieutenant Hughes in the SF with Proud Tradition, Pattern Analyzer, Special Forces Gunner. Major Von Reg with Marksmanship, Lone Wolf, Deuterium Power Cells, Magpulse Warheads. Malorus also with Magpulse Warheads. And DT-798 with Deuterium Power Cells. So just like Ryan said, has two instances of Deuterium Power Cells, one on Von Reg and one on DT. So checks that box for Ryan. And brings Von Reg, so checks that box for me. It's a fun ship to fly. And yeah, not a whole lot to say about the list. It's not an easy one to fly. Von Reg and Wilo don't make it easy on you, and you definitely have to practice a little bit. Anything in that list that seems out of the ordinary for anyone else?
Just the choice of the Hughes. I know a lot of people going back and forth on either bringing Pattern Analyzer Proud or the Barrage Rockets on the Hughes.
Yeah, I didn't even realize. Yeah, we usually see the Barrage on there pretty often too, don't we?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we see a good mix of both. Like I've heard arguments on both ends. Like your Barrage can deny the range 3 bonus. You have a Predator style effect when you get Bullseye. You have a rear arc that's a little more dangerous at that point. But in a way, if played well, correctly, that Hughes basically tells your opponent to say, "Hey, you probably should it draws attention because at that point, the Hughes is telling your opponent, all right, I'm going to go into this combat. I'm going to do some damage. If you let me live to the point where I get a talent roll, it gets worse for you, right? Because then they get to double action. Then they get to set up their runs, and like their turning around is a whole lot better than most other ships. And I've seen other people even take advantage of Proud Pattern by doing one turns into the first engagement.
I was gonna say,
right?
yeah, don't
That's what I was saying.
Don't let me be unstressed and close to you, because I'm going to be an even more dangerous. Like I'm going to get more actions off my one hard than before.
Yeah, because you can do a 3 hard barrel roll and then 1 hard double action into the second engagement.
Yeah, it almost forces you to like block the Lahuse while it's unstressed. Because if they do a red maneuver into you, they don't get any tokens then.
Yeah, but I mean, they have either 3 sloop available or
hard one.
Or
no,
hard
not
ones,
not easy. I agree, but like that's about the only counter to it is blocking them while they're unstressed.
Yeah, that is true. Or blocking them on the
just
on
keep
the turn
blocking them so they're always stressed.
Keep blocking. Yeah, exactly. To force the focus bump.
Sure. Otherwise, pretty standard looking 55433 from the First Order. No, a classic, but it still checks out. Then we have Jonathan Grasser in our top 4 spot. Marcel, do you want to take this Rebel list from Jonathan Grasser?
Sure, we've got Fen Route with Clan Training, Predator, Beskar, Reinforced Plating, and Mandalorian Optics. Han Solo with the Chopper engine upgrade version. Luke Skywalker with the boy, and Keo with the Juki. This is an interesting four pointer. I mean, 4-ship list. It's I mean, he made the top 4, so you can't complain with the results. But yeah, it's actually pretty interesting because a lot of people would probably downgrade Fen Rao for Bodekai just to get an additional ship in there, an additional objective getter, so which is pretty valid. But I mean, it's solid enough, I guess.
Well, Finrao is 5 points, so yeah, you could go split it into 2 ships. But
Yeah, or
the,
yeah, no,
the
well,
I6 is very powerful, though.
yeah, you can split it into Bodekai, who is 4 points, right? Is that
Oh,
Bodeka's
Bodeka's 4
4? No.
points.
Yeah,
and Fenrir's 5?
And Finrao's
Yes.
5, yeah.
Okay, got it. So then you would be able to like upgrade Keel into a 4-point ship, or
Right. I think we
or
saw a
you can
couple
just
of those,
go-
like Boudica, Hera. Like with
Yeah,
Hera was
Boudica,
Swarm.
Hera Swarm Tactics, stick with
yeah, it would be
Boudica,
Hera
that's
in the
good.
A-wing though, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
Hera
Yeah.
A-wing and Boudica. That's the one that Andrew, was it Andrew or what's his name?
Oh, you mentioned Ollie Pocknell's been trying that out.
Mhm.
Well, I was thinking in Gen Con, Zach. So that's the one that Zach was flying, right?
Oh no, Zach Bart didn't even bring Han. Zach Bart had the Fenrir, Boudica, Luke, Hera A-Wing, Sabine TIE Fighter.
Man, you guys got good memories. I barely remember what I ate for breakfast. So
But yeah, I mean,
anyway,
this,
so I mean, it's
as
a good
much
list.
as
I mean,
You can fit
with
so
4
many
ships, I
lists
would
in this,
love to
Ryan.
see like a proton rocket keel, just because of
Get
the
some
lack,
damage.
yeah, just because you're missing 1 ship compared to.
But Keo
like,
might be targeted though as the weakest ship though, so you might want to have that evade. I guess.
No, but you want him targeted as the weakest ship because he is the weakest ship. You don't want people shooting at Luke,
Well,
Menra, or Han Solo.
Keo's not sometimes the weakest ship if Keo's getting a bunch of objective points too.
True.
Realistically, Han, Fen, and Luke don't want to go off and just do objective things. Han can do assault well. Luke can press buttons well. But, I mean, Keo's there to be designated objective ship when necessary because it's only 3 points. And if Keo
just
does
happen
go
to
do
think-
objective ships and dies, you've only lost 3 but gained your objectives as long as that's the advantage you were looking for. While Fen, Han, and Luke do all the damage they need to do.
Yeah, just in a 4-ship list, I like Keo with a proton rocket to like push that damage, or with concussion Lone Wolf to let him be out doing objective things because there's 3 other ships that are going to be in the dogfight. But either way, no, either way you look at it, it's 3 objectively solid ships. And if you put them in the right spot, well done. Now, I did want to say one thing though, because you guys were talking about the winning list earlier, and I didn't chime in.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
My take on it, I mean, it's a good list. I mean, it's a solid list. My take on it is that Duncan won the event, not the list. I think you give Duncan the ability to bring, and I think he proved that. I think, Ryan, you were saying that he won with all 7 factions the Store Championship.
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah, so I think, before people who watch this start saying like, oh, this is the list, I'm going to go fly it. This is one of those lists that I will say, the person flying the list won the event, not necessarily the list. This is not a list that I would try to replicate. This is not a list that I would say, hey, pick up, take it to your Store Championship. Even if you put like 10 practice matches to it, like this is a list that someone at Duncan's level can do what he did but it has a very, very, very high floor. No, wait, the other is it the opposite? No, it has a very, very low floor. Low floor, right? Like if you fly bad, it's really bad.
Difficult barrier to entry, high potential.
Yeah. So don't get like, yeah. So I would, there's a few players out there that I would say, like Duncan, like Nathan Idy, and a couple other people that fly lists and they fly them very well and they win championships. And I would say, like, don't try to copy them. There's other really good players out there like Ali, like Bartos, like Paul Heaver, that fly and win a lot of tournaments. And I would say copy them because they focus on efficiency and they focus on things that while it takes practice, like things that make that have like efficiency, like they're utilizing, they take time utilizing the best tools, where people like Duncan and Idy might find the secret sauce in something that is unique to them. Anyway, that's my, I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Like, is that a fair?
To some degree, I think there's truth to some of it. I think, me knowing Duncan, he doesn't actively choose bad lists because just to fit something he's trying to do himself. Yes, he prefers ace play. He's been actually, one of the difficulties he's had this season. He's won a store championship with a list from each faction, but overall he's been trying to find a list that kind of fits what he likes to do, which is have multiple aces and play a little bit on the acier long game, or what some card game players might call a control player, that may not win the upfront engagement, but as the game goes on longer and he controls the game of play as best he can, he'll win in the end when his end game is stronger, right? And right now, he prefers having something that has sort of a really, really good ace, your Anakin 7B as an example, a sort of a pocket ace or disruptive ace that this Adigalia is, then having enough like good pieces that can help the objective game, but also throw some really good dice, and that's what the arcs are doing right. So I don't think it's a bad list, and I don't think that's what you're saying, Marcel. But to help clarify, I think it is a difficult list to play. You can still pick it up and try it and use it. It's worth it. You may as well. Most people haven't tried Anakin 7B since before the last points from previous worlds, so why not give it a go? Anakin 7B is still an extremely, extremely good ship. Plays a similar game like a post T70 would, plays a similar game to some of those other ace styles that would prefer not to trade shots, but has a little bit of health to do so. So there's a lot of like, you got to know where to be aggressive and when you gotta call a more simpler or safer dial choice on your moves. So as we mentioned, it's a difficult barrier to entry list, but it has a lot of high potential because of the pieces that are there. That I5 jamming Delta 7 chassis is so good because you can do that reposition and then chopper jam somebody. Like Audi can just stick to something almost as good or sometimes even better than a TIE Whisper and jam things for longer while still having passive mod of force. Plus it being I5. I mean that Audi is akin to a Wilo in some aspects, to some degrees better, to some degrees not good in some comparisons. And then you have Anakin 7B around. It's like if you got to bring Silo and Wilo at the same time, with give or take on its their effectiveness or what they're good at and what their some of their weaknesses are. So, and then you get two arcs. So, yeah, it's a good Republic list, not an easy one. I think that might be the misnomer about Republic overall. We talk about how like the triple arc, Padme, Anakin is also difficult to play because you have 3 different initiative arcs. You have Anakin, who a lot of people still aren't sure how to maximize his potential out. I think Republic might be overall a faction that is you need to spend some time with it to understand what it can and can't do and how it needs to move on the board, but its potential is high.
And it's probably the most versatile that we have right now, I would say, because like for James won his store championship with, he got his I don't know if he's won more after that, but he's got his invite from that, but flying a Padme, but it was Luminara as well, right? James?
Padme, Rick, Luminara.
Yeah. And then I got my invite with Delta 7B Anakin, speaking of the double, but with Rick Oleas instead of as the second quote unquote ace. There's a lot of variations, and now we saw a few, like an hour and a half ago now, a 7-ship. You can play a defensive focus list because of all the token sharing. You can play an AC list with the high initiative and force. You can play just a damage output list with 3 arcs, beef list. Like it gives you, I think, the most variety right now. If you're trying to build something to taste, I think that's probably the faction that'll give you the most, unless you're Isofane. Stay with droids, but other than that, yeah, I don't know. It's probably the most versatile.
Yeah, I think out of our high quality factions we consider right now that have won more events than not, I think it's either Republic or Empire with the most variations, because like we've seen the Racks or the Vaders, varying Vaders, whether it's the Boy Vader or the Starter Vader, Vader crew on Rack, all the bombers, Lareer, all the varying 4 points that are very reasonable. And then you have the Rebels and Resistance, which are pretty locked into like 5-ship Han, 4-ship Han, all the different variations of 5-ship Resistance, and maybe some flavors of Poe Falcon mixed in there. Some stuff.
Yeah. Well, speaking of any other list, is there a list that wasn't in the top 4 that we could be taking a look at here?
I did like. I said, love hate. Katoff's list at number 10.
Pretty sure this is Chris.
Oh, yeah, we've seen the some attempts at the Lando Falcon in Resistance with some Y-wings around.
Yeah, Lando Falcon with C-3PO, Rey, Contraband, Title, Elo, Marksmanship Heroic, R68, Chorus, Capellum with Dorsal Wartime Cluster, Lega with Diamond Boron, Wartime, and Shaza with Dorsal Wartime Plasma. So all 3 of these Y-wings bringing a munition of some kind, and 2 of them get dorsals. So
Remind me about Lando's ability. So after he coordinates with C-3PO, then what's happening?
Well, so after he does a red action or red maneuver, yeah, you may spend any number of your charges, which you have 3, 1 recurring, to choose that many friendly ships at range 0 to 2. The chosen ship may perform an action even while stressed. So you can always just do like a sloop, get your own action, or you could
True.
Do any of your multitude of red actions that you have, including the red coordinate given by C-3PO, and spend all 3 of those charges on like the opening engagement, and get lock focus for all your guys.
Yeah, so with 3 in the opening plus the 1 coordinate, you can coordinate all 3 Y-wings and give yourself a target lock.
Correct.
Wow. That's pretty crazy. Especially at I-5, giving out all those locks at I-5.
At I-5, yeah. So, yeah, it is pretty spicy. And like most of these like type of abilities where it says like do a mass coordinate that we're kind of used to are like do all of the same action. but this is just like they get to do an action. Like it's not even a coordinate, and it's well stressed.
Well, yeah, not the C-3PO one, but the Lando one for sure. Yeah, which is pretty crazy. Does that work on bump focus then for Lando? It's a red action.
It does. Yep.
But you can't perform any other actions afterwards, so you would have to give it to somebody else.
You could.
No, the bump focus says you can't perform any other actions.
For the rest of the turn?
Yep. For the rest of your activation, I believe is what
that is probably correct.
Probably correct.
That is interesting.
Someone worded it very specifically. I wouldn't believe it's your activation because you can get coordinated later on, I guess. I think that's possible.
Yeah. That is interesting to know. I kind of forgot about that little. I stopped reading when it said "Give me a focus."
Give me the free stuff. I don't care about.
Give me the free stuff. I don't want to. All the rest of the crap. I don't care. No, whatever.
Just pass over that. We'll read that when it penalizes us later on.
Yeah. And then act surprised. Yeah.
There's a second half to this card. Yeah.
Well, let's be fair. That.
I like that.
Yeah. That list is super super interesting.
All right. Let's see. That was very cool. Resistance squad. How far do we got to go to see a scum or separatist squad? Whew, pretty deep here. There's a squad with a lat. It's got 2 arcs, so I'm gonna keep moving. What is
27th for separatist? Or no, sorry, 25th for separatist.
25th for separatist. Capizoom. Wait, no, that was Libson baby. Let's see what they got here. Sunfac with Ensnare, Targeting, Marksman, Predator, Dirge with Proton Cannon, Seismic Charges, Grievous with Shield, Solus, Impervium, Marksmanship, SOC for 4 and 47. That's the I-3 gunship with Kalani. What?
Yeah.
What is going on in this list?
Where's the Kalani? This sounds like a Kalani squad. The more you read it off, the more it sounds like a Kalani squad.
Yeah, so Kalani, when an enemy ship goes into your bullseye, Kalani can give you a target lock. One lock per enemy ship, as a note. You can't get your whole squad a target lock if someone lands in multiple bullseyes.
You should be able to, but
well, that would be cool. But would be good for 4/4's advanced proton. Dirge who doesn't like a lock on your proton cannon?
Who doesn't like a good lock?
Then Sunfac, I mean, it is a little weird because like Sunfac and Dirge are I5 and I6, so they might move afterwards, but he's got to be aware that Kalani does stress you for that target lock.
Even better though, like if you get the lock before you move, then you can clear it with a blue.
That's true. They just might not be in your bullseye then.
I mean, that's
figure it out. You're I5 and I6, right? Like,
yeah.
Get them back in bullseye.
Yeah, get them back in bullseye.
Interesting. Who is our bravest scum player here? Maybe not bravest, but best performing. Is it this?
36.
Maurice takes. Whoops, not that. Maurice, come on. What did I say? 36.
Yeah.
Out of how many people? Yeah, read me the list while I pull it up here.
Yeah. Finn Rao with Fearless, nice. Predator, Beskar, Optics. Bosk with Expert Handling, Marksman, Cad, Solus with Elusive, Beskar, Reinforced Plating, Joy with Fearless and Cluster Missiles. Does that work with her ability?
Sure Joy is Torpedo, but
Torpedo. I thought it was just torpedoes, but Cad Bane with Xanadu Blood, Proton Cannons, Proton Rockets, and Marksmanship. It is just torpedo upgrade?
Yes.
Okay.
Whoops.
I'm confused with the cluster missiles, but They may have swapped it
Might have
out.
been it might have been legit accidental. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I thought it worked for both, and there's 4
Yeah.
charges on this one. Why would I not take that
Yeah.
one?
Why would I
Yeah.
not take the cluster missiles? It has 4 charges.
Maybe.
Those symbols look pretty close together.
I mean, either way. Still, I mean, taking all the best ships in my opinion. For their point cost, Fenrau, Bosk, Cad Bane had 4 points, and even these Fang Fighters.
Yeah.
Round 1 faced off against even more Fang Fighters.
I know.
Maurice, I apologize that you're like probably got to this tournament. Probably was like, ain't nobody flying 3 Fang Fighters. I am the Fang man. And then they gets matched up against 4 Fang
4
Fighters.
Fang Fighters. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah, and I'm sure the other Joy player was like, "Yo, that's not how cluster missiles work with Joy," and he was immediately sad.
Wait. Still awesome to see. How did the bunch of things JK list 44?
Yeah, not much better, or not much worse. Sorry. Yeah. Anyone else see any list in the cut that you wanted to call out? I think everything else looked pretty standard. I think Sam Page is playing another one of those Rack, Deathfire Tomax, Rhymer,
You brought
and
electro
Fair
chaff
Off.
on Rhymer? Is that right? What?
How is that legal? So am I looking at
yes,
Sam Page?
He did actually, yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I knew he was going, and he kept me updated on his progress. I didn't know he brought chaff missiles on.
You would have thought he would have led with that.
Yeah. I mean, when
He had a pretty cool painted squad, though. He did it based off of the new Ahsoka series with all the Thrawn looking rack
like the
and
gold.
yeah, he put the gold on
Oh,
there, and he had like
yeah.
the Chimera symbol on Faroff and rack, and then some of the bombers had some of like the Night Sister wrap cloth looking red on there and gold.
Nice.
Cool.
That's
Heck
pretty
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Tell him
this
to
is terrifying.
Tell him to post the paint job in the in the Discord.
Did we mention Scooter at number 8?
We can.
Because
Let's take a look
we
here.
have a couple
Scooter.
sightings in there. I mean, we start with normal SOC Oddball, SOC Wolf, and even Slider, kind of normal. But then we have custom 5.8 Anakin
Yeah,
with Malice,
That's a choice.
HLC, Targeting Computer, Predator, and R4P.
yeah. All
then we
those
have
upgrades don't work together.
Plo Koon with CLT, Debris Gambit, Chopper, and Brilliant Evasion. It's kind of weird when for Brilliant Evasion, not Patience. I think Patience might have a little bit better synergy with Plo, but you can take either one. You'll probably be fine.
I do like.
But yeah,
Plo
I
being
think this
able
is
to
actually the
throw
second
the
time I've
evade.
seen Scooter bring this squad to an event. I feel like he brought the same thing to Nova. I think.
Yeah, I do remember seeing a 5.8 Anakin recently that did okay.
I'll double check Nova real quick.
But
it is interesting that you're right, James. That Malice and Predator don't work with the heavy laser cannon.
and then targeting computer and Predator, and
Well,
Malice and heavy.
targeting computer is probably the 1 point left over kind of
Yeah,
situation.
yeah. It's just funny. And then like R4P, it's like when are you stressing yourself? But I guess like bump focuses. But
I mean, doesn't
bump.
Anakin still have that same ability? I don't know. What
this is.
I
Oh my
don't
gosh,
even know. I was gonna say I don't even know what Anakin's customized ability even is.
I don't even. I honestly don't even know.
I'm pretty sure it's the exact same as his Ada or as his.
No, it's a little bit different. So
okay.
it's
it's remove red token.
It's the with the friend Obi-Wan, more enemy ships are easier to one, spend a force, remove red token.
Of your choice. Yes. Okay.
Of your choice, yeah.
So it's still clear stress, but in a different way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the R4P, and I just feel like there's a better droid choice than like the R4P and like Predator maybe, or like R4P and like targeting
Why?
and Predator can you a better
ditch,
droid.
Can you ditch all those for a shield upgrade? Get this
How
guy
dare
a
you.
shield upgrade.
Give my friend a shield upgrade.
Well, I guess you don't really need it though. Like I said, if Plo is throwing you, that's my favorite thing to do with Chopper Plo, is that you can get the debris gambit and then immediately throw it round one as well. Plo's ability to give another friendly a green token Plo has, or take an orange token from the enemy.
I was trying to see if maybe you can make Juke work, but it's not working.
Does he have a talent?
Yeah,
Predator.
he does have a talent.
Predator.
Yeah.
What am I thinking here?
I mean, you could even just like drop the. I would drop the targeting computer for crack, maybe.
Yeah, but then now you have no way to get rerolls.
Yeah, no way to get rerolls.
So, I think this guy's in. Scooter's probably taking a look at it.
Yeah, I was. It just looks so wrong, right?
Right. Well,
Am I
maybe
crazy?
he just gets a lot of range ones, you know. And like I said, if Plo is throwing you evades, you could take your own target locks.
You could, if you drop the Predator, you still get targeting, but then you get R7A7, but you already have or more crit generation, I guess.
Not enough crits. Put double crits on your heavy.
Or you could get R4P17 for a pattern analyzer droid. Yeah. R3.
I'm gonna take a look at. I'm gonna take a look at Ted's list, and then we're gonna get out of here. Ted was another separatist player. We gotta show him some love, so people keep flying these factions.
Please. I want to see it.
Another Kalani here.
Yeah.
Takes 286. That is the I-1 who gets freed locks and hands out strain when they attack. This one's got cluster and Kalani. An 047, that's the steel. I-3 steel and calculates HMP. He's got cluster missiles and ion bombs. 081 as the vulture. Struts, shells, and independent. A Geonosian prototype, a 4-point HMP with a proton cannon, concussion missiles, and discords. What an armament for that HMP.
Proton cannons, concussion missiles, discord.
Yeah. Well, I'm just hoping somebody flies into your bullseye.
Yeah. Yeah, can you
yourself a
fly
free lock.
slowly towards me?
Yeah, fly into my bullseye. Let me get a lock on you.
Throw a discord at you, and then shoot you the proton cannon.
Yeah. Then has Dirge and Cad Bane in their rogue class. Tractor beam on Dirge. Wow. And ion cannon on Cad Bane. Okay. Ion cannon. Heavy laser cannon on Cad Bane. Wow. Okay. I love it. It's a lot of things
blood
going
on Dirge.
Probably for the cloak, I imagine. Or for concussion bombs is really what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no other munition on Dirge, just tractor beam there. Wow. Does Kalani work with tractor beams? Does Kalani say move or maneuver? To the Yasby, quick.
Oh,
have we not been doing this?
No way. No way.
No way it doesn't say move. It says maneuver, right?
No way.
I executes a maneuver, yeah.
Okay. I was like, oh, geez, no.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you can be target locking
You know,
people,
geez, no. Oh, geez, someone might get to do something.
I know, exactly. Like, that. Like, if this guy unlocked the, oh, geez, oh, no.
I mean, maybe, yeah. I mean, tractor beaming people into Kalani locks would be amazing.
Oh, wow.
We don't live in that world, though.
Sunfox just
testing
tractors them into his own bull's eye.
I know.
Oh, now I have focused target lock crack shot.
Oh, Yeah, maybe not. They probably play tested that pretty easily. Oh, man. Sandy, thank you so much. Anyways, that's some exciting stuff. We'll have to be back then next week, and we'll talk all about the XTC and see what teams get into the finals of the draft league. Marcel, you have a question?
It is this weekend, Marcel.
No, he was raising his hand. That was the joke I was making.
I was stretching, but
I know you
sure.
were stretching, but anyways, very exciting stuff.
I can ask a question.
What
I don't
question
know if you
you
can
got?
answer it. I don't know. I'm still trying to. I'm
42.
still struggling to find the meaning of life. So.
42. I was already there
42.
before you even.
You're already into it.
Before you even
The meaning
got
of
there.
life is 42.
I was already there. On top of it, man. If you got other questions, I could answer them before you even asked them. Empire. Roman Empire specifically.
Roman Empire. Oh. He's throwing it back. I like it.
Anyways, let's get out of here. xwing.life. Sign up for the raffle. Help out the Isoplane Initiative. We'll be back on Wednesday streams and Friday night, Saturday morning for the XTC. Till then, Gold Squadron out.
Thank you to ISO, Danko, Baffle, Trojan, Prophet, Shadow, Tycho, Spice, Raider, Lancer, Fallen, Row 6, 626, Chief, and J List, our Grand Admiral patrons. And all of our Gold Squadron patrons and community members, thank you for your support. Gold Squadron out.